Lastly, I think of the fever of guilt and shame. Of guilt and shame, because a lot of people live under a fear of guilt and shame. A lot of people live with the fear of, I hope I'm never really found out. I hope I'm really never found out. I hope my guilt is never really revealed. I'm shameful of what I've done. I'm shameful of the life I have lived. This weekend, Sandra and I were with some old high school friends, and a guy we were in each other's weddings and went to high school together. And I told my friend, he serves as one of the pastors in a church in Central Texas. And I always say this to him. I always say, me and you, we got a mutual destruction pact, right? And he says, what are you talking about? I said, because if you start talking about me, I'm going to start talking about you. And we can both destroy each other. Because not always what we should be. Some of you think that. Some of you think I've done too much. I've seen too much. I did too much. I was a part of too much. I participated in too much. I'm too far gone. Let me tell you something. You're never too far gone. You're never too far gone. That's why Jesus did the physical, to show you he can do the spiritual. That's why Jesus one day went and found a girl named, we know as Jairus' daughter, and raised her up off her deathbed. That's why Jesus encountered a boy that was dead, the only son of his mother, a widow, who's already in the casket. They're on the way to the funeral. And Jesus raises him up out of the casket. That's the same reason why, what you're thinking inside of you is the same reason why Jesus goes up to his friend Lazarus, delays getting there a few days, even though he knows that Lazarus is sick, and even though when he gets there, his buddies, his sisters of Lazarus, Mary and Martha, say to him, Lord, if you'd been here, he wouldn't have died. But then Jesus walks up to the tomb and says, roll it back. And they say, Lord, please, no. He's been dead all this time. It's going to stink this place up. And Jesus says, roll the stone back. And he says, Lazarus, come out. And Lazarus comes out, raised from the dead. And Jesus says, take those death clothes off of him. Unwrap him. He's alive. Why did Jesus show his power over death? What does the empty tomb of his own resurrection show us? Tell us that we celebrate every Easter and every day of our lives. I can tell you what Jesus is showing us. He is showing us physically, I have the power to make dead things come to life. That's his power. The same way he says, I can do it physically, and I can take someone that is as spiritually as dead as you could possibly imagine, full of guilt and shame, and I can forgive them, and I can bring them back to life. I can give them life. That's our Lord, who can cool a fever.